All right, welcome. Whether you've been with us for this entire 10-part journey or you're just jumping in now, we are about to distill decades of wireless innovation into one single essential review. We're going to trace the path from, the dial-up days of the airwaves all the way to the multi-gigabit world we pretty much take for granted now. This is where it all comes together. So, just to be clear, this final explainer brings together our entire 10-part series. It's all based on a really incredible in-depth report on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth standards by the folks at RFI Detectives, who are part of Virtualization Options LLC. So, let's dive into the biggest takeaways. And hey, before we really get going, on behalf of the whole team here, congratulations! No, seriously. You have navigated a deeply technical series that covered everything from radio physics to, complex cryptographic protocols. That is no small feat. You have absolutely earned a rock-solid foundation in modern wireless tech. Okay, so here's our game plan for this final review. We'll kick off with the incredible evolution of Wi-Fi. Then we'll touch on its counterpart, Bluetooth. After that, we're going to dive deep into and it really is, dramatic story of wireless security. And then we'll turn all that theory into action with some practical wisdom before we do a final wrap-up on your new wireless mastery. So, let's get into it. So, let's begin with the story of Wi-Fi itself. And this isn't just about numbers getting bigger and bigger. No, it's a story about solving some fundamental problems in physics and engineering, all to meet our, let's face it, insatiable demand for more data. And wow, what a story it is. Just look at this progression. We started back in 1999 with 802.11b at a blazing 11 megabits per second. Fast forward 25 years, and with Wi-Fi 7, we are talking about a theoretical max of 46 gigabits per second. That is just an insane, over 4,000-fold increase. Every single step you see on this timeline represents a massive architectural leap that we covered in the tutorial. The first real game changer was Wi-Fi 4, and it was all thanks to this one concept, MIMO. See, before this, radio waves bouncing off walls, that's called multipath interference, it was just noise. It just weakened your signal. But MIMO brilliantly used multiple antennas to turn those bounced signals into their own separate, parallel data streams. It literally turned a fundamental problem of physics into a massive asset, and it completely changed the speed equation forever. So, Wi-Fi 5 built on that momentum by making a really crucial decision. It focused entirely on the cleaner, much less crowded 5 gigahertz band. This let it create much wider data highways. It made 80 megahertz channels mandatory, and it upgraded MIMO to multi-user MIMO, which let an access point talk to multiple devices at the same time for the first time ever. And the result of all of this? 3.5 gigabits per second. This was the moment. This was when gigabit Wi-Fi officially became a real thing you could buy, and it totally changed what we thought was even possible over the air. Now, Wi-Fi 6 marked a huge philosophical shift. The goal wasn't just about raw top speed anymore. It was about efficiency, especially in crowded places like stadiums or airports. The key tech was something called OFDMA. Now, think of it this way. Old Wi-Fi was like a delivery truck that had to make a whole separate trip for every single little package. OFDMA is like a truck that can carry dozens of packages for different destinations all at once. It is a massive leap in efficiency. And then Wi-Fi 6E gave us a brand new, totally empty superhighway to drive on, the 6 gigahertz band. And that brings us right up to today's standard, Wi-Fi 7, and its signature feature, multi-link operation, or MLO. And this is the big one. MLO lets a single device use multiple bands, say 5 and 6 gigahertz, at the exact same time. It's kind of like merging two highways into one giant superhighway, which boosts speed and reliability. This is the technology that's finally going to make things like wireless VR and cloud gaming feel truly seamless. So, while Wi-Fi was on this relentless quest for speed, its close companion, Bluetooth, was busy solving a completely different problem. See, it was never about replacing Wi-Fi. It was designed from the ground up for one specific thing: simple, low-power, short-range connections between all of our personal devices. The journey of Bluetooth also has one of those huge, pivotal moments. It started out as a simple cable replacement, for headsets and keyboards. But the real game changer, which we spent a whole chapter on, was version 4.0 back in 2010. That's when we got Bluetooth Low Energy, or BLE. It created an entirely new protocol that was optimized for tiny, battery-powered sensors, and that single innovation basically kicked off the entire IoT revolution. Okay, now for what is arguably the most critical part of this entire tutorial: security. The story of Wi-Fi security isn't some simple linear improvement. It's actually a pretty dramatic tale of catastrophic failures that forced the entire industry to learn some very hard lessons in cryptography. And this image right here captures that whole drama perfectly. We start with WEP back in 1997. Its name, Wired Equivalent Privacy, turned out to be tragically ironic. Its failures led to WPA as kind of a temporary band-aid. Then came the much more robust WPA2, and finally, today's gold standard, WPA3. Every single step was a direct reaction to the failures of the one that came before it. So let's break this down. WEP failed on every single level. Its encryption was just fundamentally, hopelessly broken. WPA was just a software patch to stop the bleeding, but it was still built on that same flawed foundation. The first real leap came with WPA2, which brought in the gold standard AES encryption that we still use today. But it had one critical flaw. An attacker could just record your connection handshake and then use a powerful computer to guess your password offline. That was the last major vulnerability to fix, and WPA3 finally slammed that door shut. And this is how it fixed it. Something called Simultaneous Authentication of Equals, or SAE. The difference is just night and day. With WPA2's old handshake, an attacker could record your connection and then just hammer away at it offline, trying millions of passwords a second. SAE makes that completely impossible. It uses a really clever cryptographic method to prove you both know the password without ever exposing anything that could be used to guess it. This is without a doubt the single biggest security upgrade in the history of Wi-Fi. Okay, so understanding all this history and theory is fantastic, but, it's pretty useless if we don't actually apply it. Our final chapters in this series were all about turning that knowledge into actionable, operational best practices. And this right here is the core checklist we put together. First, you got to know what you have. Second, and this is absolutely non-negotiable, disable the old, broken protocols. WEP and WPA with TKI IP should not exist on any network, anywhere, today. From there, deploy WPA3, move your enterprise networks to certificate-based authentication with EAP TLS, and then enforce management frame protection to stop those annoying deauthentication attacks. We also covered these other essential practices. Vulnerabilities like crack and frag attacks proved that patch management is just critical. Deploying a WIPS helps you actually see attacks happening on your airwaves. And for Bluetooth, you should always enforce Secure Connections mode to use modern key exchange and enable BLE privacy to prevent your devices from being tracked. So here we are at the end of our review. From the basic physics of radio waves all the way to the complex math of modern cryptography, you have basically consolidated decades of progress into one comprehensive framework for understanding. And I really want to leave you with this quote from the source material, because it perfectly frames why this knowledge is so vital. Wireless isn't just an add-on anymore. It is the network. Securing it, optimizing it, and truly understanding it is one of the most fundamental jobs in modern technology. And so we end here. You've seen the full evolution, from broken protocols to basically unbreakable encryption, from kilobits to gigabits. You now have the framework to not just use these technologies, but to actually build secure, innovative systems with them. The only question left is, what will you build next?